Okay, let's first talk about Joshua Van. He got a lot of hate after that Pantoja win. Again, 26 seconds, the arm injury. We get that. But man, after his Tyra win, I think he showed and proved a lot of people wrong. I think actually very highly of him. I love the skill. I do sadly think he gets hit too much. He reminds me eerily similar, and again, this might be my opinion, and some people are like, "Heck, you're way too off on this." He reminds me of a young Anthony Pettis. I loved his style. Like, he was really flashy back in the day. Sometimes people would love to out-grapple him or try to out-grapple him. But even in the fight against Tyra, I really liked how Van showed off the instincts of never accepting a position. He was always okay fighting that, putting his head down, trying to get back up, scrambling. It was really, really solid. So I don't think it's just going to be an outright grappler that's going to get the job done against Van. I think it's easy for me to say, be like, okay, I think Pantoja is his toughest nightmare matchup and the blueprint to beat him. Not exactly true, because Pantoja is 36. It is going to be a tough fight, even though I don't think we've got the fair fight just yet. But I think Pantoja's all-around style, his experience, is what's going to give him fits. He can keep it at bay striking. I think he can give him trouble on the ground. He is going to try to wrestle him. He has the cardio, but Van also showed his cardio in the 5-round fight. So I don't think Pantoja's 100% the blueprint, but what you need is someone that can grapple, definitely, and to give him some problems. You need to be able to strike, because again, Van does have power and solid cardio. The one problem he does have though, and Charles Johnson kind of exploited it, was his kind of problem that he kept ducking his head, and then got caught with that uppercut. So I think because of his age, he's only 24, that's something you can get by with, and trainers and coaches can work on that. So with his age, I think he'll improve that. So it's not going to be just another uppercut that's going to catch him, because I think he can definitely improve that area of his game. But those are the things I definitely think give him some trouble. What about Petr Yan though? And obviously we've seen recently he did lose to Davishvili, but he made the changes in the rematch and won that fight. So that was one of his scariest matchups. A grappler that is constant with that cardio is one of the toughest things to face for Petr Yan. So I would say that is what you need at its base though. You need to have insane grappling. You need to be able to strike enough where you can get through and mitigate some of that damage that Yan does have that output at kicking range, at the striking range, even at the boxing range. He's an insane boxer. With all of that taken into account, you need to also have cardio though. So you're kind of making this formula of a Davishvili fighter, but with almost like a slight boost and some better striking. And what you can say with that, if you want a complete nightmare matchup, is if you could combine Sean O'Malley's striking with Merab's kind of cardio, his wrestling acumen, all of that. Because remember, and hand up, I'm man enough to admit this, I thought Yan still did beat Sean O'Malley 2-1. I had it 29-28. But I think keeping him at bay, having that power, because he did stun him at one point. Didn't, it wasn't anything insane, but he did stun him and kind of drop him there. And with that, I think if you can keep Yan at bay and not let him kind of download your fight IQ, because remember, he is a little bit of a slow starter, so you can take advantage of that if you can bag some early rounds. Again, that is how Sean did get that fight in the judges' eyes. So if you can do that, you can beat him. But for him going through his toughest challenge and that fight IQ he has, and to mentally download what you're doing to him during the fight and then using his style against you, is amazing. So it's a very, very tough fight, but you need some insane grappling, you need the cardio, and you need to be able to strike. For sure at the outer distance, and then just to keep it where you can defensively be okay. Okay, and then Alex Volkanovski next. I call him Junior John Jones, just because of how smart their fight IQ is and how high it truly is compared to all UFC fighters. I think they're definitely, John Jones is number one all time, and I think you have to put Alex top 3. Seriously, he is so smart for mid-fight adjustments. He knows what you're trying to do to him, and he can counter that. He did that in all the Max Holloway fights. Even in the first Islam fight, he pushed Islam to his limits, and that was someone coming up from 145 pounds. Yes, some of you are going to argue, well, Aki, in the rematch, Islam finished him. Yes, he did, but that's after having 25 minutes with the fighter. So he had also been able to download, and again, that is a pound-for-pound great. The one problem people are going to admit is, does he struggle with power? I'm going to push back a little bit on that. Yes, he can get hurt, okay? That's like any fighter, if you get caught. The Ilia Topuria fight, where people are really going to point to, he took such small rest after so much damage taken in all those fights, like even throughout his career. But like after that second Islam fight, he took up, what was it? I can't remember the exact amount, but it was sub 3 months. That's not enough time to heal your brain. And then he got caught and finished. Again, that's not taking anything away from Ilia, but I think a fully healthy, prepared Volk is a lot tougher fight. Seriously, I mean that. So what do you need to beat him? It would be nice to have that KO power, but that's something you can't rely on. You're not just gonna catch him that easily, seriously, because he is gonna study and download you before the fight, during the fight. So you're gonna have to be able to grapple, because the thing is, you wanna make Volk second guess himself. If you're just gonna try striking him, he is gonna eat you alive with his own wrestling and taking you down. So he's gonna interrupt your movements. He's gonna throw you off your game. So you need to be able to grapple. Think of a Movsar Evulov trying to grapple, but then also you need to have high level striking. You would need to combine like a Max Holloway level striking with Ilia Topuria, and you combine that into also having that grappling. And then people will point again to Ilia, but will not know the fact that he was such a high level grappler beforehand, before getting all that striking, the boxing down, which is now becoming such a threat to people. So again, combining all those things is what you need to really take down Alex Volkanovski. We talked about him so much. What about Ilia Topuria? Bring a weapon. Seriously. Obviously, I'm kidding, but he is such an outstanding fighter. There's really not many weaknesses in his game. Some people are gonna try pointing somewhere, the high kick from Jai Herbert, like what's gonna get him? Sure, a flash knockdown could maybe get you somewhere, but with his striking, he's scary, man. He truly, truly is. He understands the realm of boxing, but he understands it in the MMA lens. That's what makes you a scary good boxer in MMA. Because yes, there is some good MMA fighters at boxing, but he's like a boxer in the MMA world. Like he understands it in MMA ranges. That's what makes him so scary. So honestly, like hand for hand combat, like, you know what I mean? Just boxing. Yeah, that's going to be a tough find to really, really beat him. Like you need to have grappling, but remember, Ilia is a very good grappler. He's a submission artist as well. I know some of you aren't going to believe it, but look at his past fights, even against when he was fighting Yusuf Salal. When he entered the UFC in 2020, it was very, not grappling focused, but he showed his grasp of grappling. He can submit people. He can also scramble. So it's not going to be as easy as, oh, take him down and I'm just going to keep him there. Nope. No. He is going to threat you with submissions. So in an ideal world, what are you looking at? So Islam, Arman Tsarukyan can give him definitely those tough fights and those fits. But look, Islam is different from Khabib in the sense of he can grapple, but Khabib's primary focus was to get you down and keep you down and then just kind of wail on you and have that top control. He had the best top control in all of MMA. People relate it to Dagestani wrestling and be like, they point to Khabib. Not many people can actually emulate Khabib's style of wrestling / Sambo. So he would keep you down. Islam, if he doesn't keep you down, he will strike with you. We've seen that in fights for prolonged periods. He did that with Alex Volkanovski. If he does that with Ilia, I think what you need to do is you need to mix that. So if you can have that kind of grappling, take him down, get him tired, get him into later rounds, then you can give Ilia problems. You can't keep it just striking. You can't just 100% focus primarily on grappling. You will need to strike with him. With that, again, if you can strike on par with him, have that defensive acumen like Arman Tsarukyan. If you combine Arman and then with even better grappling of Islam, because again, Islam versus Arman, Islam did win that fight and the grappling exchanges were beautiful. If you kind of combine both of those fighters, a little bit more defensive acumen in the sense of like you don't get caught by a punch, you can take down Ilia, but man, seriously, if it was me, I'm bringing a weapon. Off to the 170-pound champ, and oh my God, it is Islam Makhachev. Yee. Also in weapon territory, no joke. What a special fighter. His wrestling, the way he does it, his chain takedowns, he doesn't just rely on a blast double leg. He can go for trips. He can combine different techniques. So if he doesn't get you down with a single leg, he can chain wrestle. And that's what separates Islam. He doesn't lose like even strength throughout the fight. Like we saw the Hamza fight. He started struggling after round 1 against Sean Strickland. Islam can wrestle throughout the rounds. His gas tank is unreal. Now that he's moved to 170, he hasn't been depleted. He doesn't need to cut as much weight. He is now his healthy, normal self. So he's got even better cardio. That is a scary thing for welterweights. The thing to beat him though, what do you really, really need? Adriano Martins showed that you could finish him, right? We get it. That was 10 plus years ago. So he has learned from that loss. He doesn't want to get caught with that again. So in the striking range, you could throw up, you could be like, okay, well, you need to have power, which I agree. And it's so funny to say this because Ilia and Islam for each other are their nightmare matchups and a really good blueprint to beat each other. You need to be able to, in the striking, threaten Islam. And then when you get him to the ground, if he gets you to the ground, you need to be able to pose a threat there as well. What do I mean by that? Well, you got to threaten him with submissions, but you also can't accept positions. You've got to be able to out-scramble him. To out-scramble Islam Makhachev is one of the hardest things in MMA. No joke, and I don't mean that lightly. If Arman Tsarukyan can have that tough of a time and you see his wrestling and grappling, there is honestly a fighter right now that I can't pinpoint to that can do that to Islam right now. Seriously, and I mean that. So that's what makes it so tough. You need to be adequate. Not adequate. You need to be stellar grappler to at least keep yourself alive, can't get submitted. Then you need to have high level striking. We know that. You need to be able to catch him. You need to be able to hurt him at that range. Kick his legs, box him up, whatever you can do. You need to be able to be a threat on the feet and then also be able to survive on the ground, and then possibly you can have a chance to win and then also have your kind of blueprint to beat him at 170, which is even tougher than at 155 where he could get caught because he's so depleted, and it would be easier to knock him down, maybe out as well because of all the water loss. 185. What about Sean Strickland, the new middleweight champion? Well, what do you need to do? Okay. Look, we all know Sean has amazing boxing. He just does. The 1-2s, the kick, the teep, just to keep you at bay. It's all really, really great. He's got defensive wrestling. He can also wrestle himself. I know he doesn't like to admit his jiu-jitsu game after the Kamaru Usman fight, but he is a black belt. So he doesn't like to give himself enough credit, but Sean Strickland is a very well-rounded MMA fighter. That's just how it is. He's got really no glaring weakness. He got caught by Alex Pereira. Again, who doesn't? Seriously, that left hook is death. But DDP gave him some trouble, and that is kind of the blueprint you want to take. You want to be able to threaten him in the grappling and get him a little bit tired, but then also in the striking, be a little bit more clumsy. Don't be just an outright boxer because he can read that style and it's going to be way too easy for him. So you need to be able to throw him off. And with DDP's style, he was the movements, the feints, the awkward movement of his legs, like the footwork was just throwing Sean off and giving him fits. That is something you need to be able to do. So DDP, arguably, yes, he has 2 wins over Sean Strickland. One of them is very, very up and down, and even in the first fight I did have Sean winning that. So you can't just say, oh, it was an easy 2-0. No, it's not really. That isn't just 100% what you need to be able to do. But if you can have that striking power, because you know Sean will strike with you. He's not gonna be a guy that's just gonna dive for the legs right away. He doesn't need to do that, and he doesn't want to do that. So if you can threaten him with power, then also be able to kind of threaten that game where like, oh, I could wrestle you if I want to. And then you have that power, and then you can hopefully try stopping him on the feet, or like DDP, throw him around and then kind of get him in that struggle where even if it does go 5 rounds, you can bag some rounds where you get the decision win. Okay, what about Carlos Ulberg though? Newer champ, again, even Yuri was having him in trouble with the kicks. Again, right now, in my opinion, like if you had a John Jones style fighter, I think Ulberg would be in some serious trouble. Again, because he is so new in his UFC journey, I do like him as a fighter, but I think if you could out-grapple him, that will give him a ton of problems because you can test that gas tank and then you can see how he actually is in, say, rounds 4 and 5 when you get to those championship level fights. Not only, but the rounds is what we're really looking at. So if you can grapple him, I think you can give Ulberg a ton of problems because he can't really scramble that well. You can keep him down there, you can threaten submissions, but then you can also work him and give him some ground and pound and just accumulate that damage, get him into the later rounds, then be able to strike with him because again, he is a high-level kickboxer. If you can keep him at bay, Yuri was giving him some problems, threatening him with some power shots, but again, you got to be careful. He's a great counter puncher, so he can catch you. So if you can keep it at bay, grapple him, you will have a road to win. Okay, what about Tom Aspinall? Man, seriously, one of my favorite fighters. But some people will point right away to the Cyril Gane fight. Yes, you could. The eye pokes obviously was just brutal, but what did he do that led people to believe that he could win that fight? While striking, he was giving him a little bit of fits. He was actually giving Tom something to think about. Like, hey, I can't just get in here and I can't just strike him up like I want to. I can't blast a double leg because of Ciryl Gane's movement. And he was throwing him off with the low kicks. He was disrupting his style and his advancement. That's one thing you need to do. You need to throw him off his game. You can't just let him pressure you. You got to be able to be like, say if he's coming at you, okay, throw a little jab, throw a little kick. Have him thinking that you know what's coming next. And again, one thing he likes to do, the blast double leg. If you stop the blast double leg, he's not going to be like Islam where he's going to be chain wrestling you. He will maybe go for a single leg, but that's pretty much Tom's kind of way to get you down. If he gets you down though, he's got great top control. He's got a great submission game. He is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He can threaten you and he can beat you on the ground. So Ciryl Gane, for as much as he was giving him fits, if Tom could get Ciryl down, I think he would definitely submit him. So what did he lead to us believe that could be a blueprint? Well, again, I don't want to be hand up here being a simp for Jon Jones, but I think Jon Jones would be a fighter that would have a blueprint to beat Tom Aspinall. But why do I say that? Man, those oblique kicks would be so gross against Tom Aspinall to not just throw off his style, but to keep him at bay. And with that 84.5-inch reach, he is just keeping that jab all up in his face all day, and then he's doing the oblique kicks to throw up his style. And honestly, I think that could give Tom not only just problems, but it's going to weaken him down as the fight goes on. And I think Tom would actually get taken down by Jon Jones because Jon can wrestle, and he's not just going to go for a blast double. He can chain it. He can go take your back. He can go for a trip like he did against Ciryl Gane. And then he can also threaten some submissions. But the thing is, I don't think Jon would be able to submit Tom Aspinall. I'll just say that right now. Even at Jon's advanced age, yes, he's a heck of a fighter. Would he be able to submit Tom though? No. Tom is so good at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It would be tough. But could he take him down and actually like ground and pound him like he did against the second Alexander Gustafsson fight? Yes, I think he could. So that's what you need. You need to have and be able to keep him at bay. Look at those physiques too. These guys are going to be 6'4" plus. Like Ciryl Gane is huge. And Jon Jones is huge. You can't just be expected to be a smaller heavyweight. That I think is going to give you some problems, but you need to be able to threaten him, to take him down. And if you can't do that, you've got to be a high-level striker where you keep him on the feet, pin him, and take him off his style. And I think you can get the job done. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope I did a good enough job. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.